This is Working Definitions episode 4, where I'm going to tell you why loyalty is bad and you shouldn't practice it yourself or expect it from others. Loyalty has a lot of possible meanings, and it's perfectly easy to come up with a definition for loyalty that's a totally reasonable and good idea. The thing I'm interested in looking for is the cases where loyalty doesn't overlap with the definition of another concept. Because if A, loyalty contains possible bad implications, and B, all the possible good implications are covered by other words, then the only thing valuing loyalty adds is the bad stuff. So, loyalty has to do with whose interests you're looking out for and who you side with in conflict. So let's say you've got this friend to whom you're very loyal. Let's call him Jim. And Jim has a habit of doing something unconscionably awful. You know about this awful thing that he's doing. You know that he's unlikely to stop. And just to make sure that we're staying on the same page here, when you're trying to imagine an awful thing for Jim to be doing, don't try and guess which awful thing I'm thinking. Go for something that you would think is unconscionable. So are you going to cover for Jim? Or are you going to help the people trying to hold Jim accountable, even if that's something you know Jim would prefer you didn't do? Now, the straightforward interpretation of loyalty is that you take Jim's side, which, as we've established, means that you're supporting him in doing something that you find to be unconscionable. But there are a couple of lines of defense of loyalty that people often go through once they realize that the straightforward definition means they're defending evil. The first is that it would be disloyal to your friend to allow your friend to be a terrible person. So loyalty demands that you make every effort to hold Jim accountable and only support him insofar as he's working to improve. But is there any sense in which you couldn't do that if you were a person who is entirely disloyal to Jim? You could do that out of a sense of moral obligation to care for your fellow humans or for your community. You could do it out of a commitment to a sense of justice. You could do it because you feel obligated as a person who's close enough to Jim to know how to talk to him about it. So loyalty, meaning holding people close to you to be their best selves, is not different from the absence of loyalty if you have other values. And the other line of defense is, well, I would only commit to loyalty for people who deserve it. And there's three directions that can go. One is that your judgment is perfect and you're always right, in which case it doesn't matter what any word means because it's always going to go right for you and you'll be fine. 2 and 3 entail committing to the wrong person sometimes. And number 2, the loyalty ends as soon as they're not holding up their side of the bargain and being a decent person. This is loyalty that ends at the moment when maintaining loyalty would differ from having never been loyal at all. And 3 is you've made the commitment so you're sticking to it, and that's loyalty, meaning supporting wrongdoing again. In summary, loyalty is a false virtue. Its only unique function is to get you to stop yourself from preventing harm. And all of the benefits you want from loyalty are available with fewer negative side effects from other values.